Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. I truly appreciate the support, guys. Thanks a ton. So, out of nowhere, my girlfriend looks at me and tells me to stop acting like we're practically engaged. She made it a point to emphasize that we were just casually seeing each other. I didn't argue. I just nodded and told her she was absolutely right. But right then and there, I changed the rules. I started splitting every single tab right down the middle, stopped playing her personal chauffeur, and started making weekend plans without even thinking to invite her. Fast forward just 2 weeks, and there she was, practically begging me to put things back to the way they used to be. For a little context, my name's Ryan, I'm 39, and I'd been dating Lauren, who was 36, for about 2 years. We didn't live together, but to be honest, I treated her like she was my wife. I bankrolled all our nights out, drove 40 minutes each way just to pick her up for every single event we attended, covered her car payments during 3 different times she was out of work, and even threw her phone onto my family plan because it was just easier for her. Then, last month, we were out having dinner with a group of her friends. One of them casually asked when we were finally going to tie the knot. Lauren just let out this sharp, mocking laugh. She went, "Seriously, why does everyone keep asking us that? We're just dating. Ryan really needs to stop acting like we're married." Honestly, it gets a little overwhelming sometimes. The whole table went dead silent. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there sipping on an $18 cocktail that I was paying for, and I just smiled. I looked right at her and said, "You know what? You're absolutely right." She looked completely thrown off. "What?" she asked. I just repeated myself. "You're correct. We're just dating. I've been overcomplicating this whole thing." A big grin came over her face, and she reached over to pat my arm. "See?" she said. "That wasn't so hard to admit." Then the bill arrived. It was $340 for the entire group. Normally, I would have just thrown my card down without a second thought. Instead, I pulled out my phone and pulled up the calculator. I looked up and said, "All right, so that comes out to $68 a piece for the 5 of you, right?" More awkward silence. Finally, Lauren's friend Ashley spoke up. Ryan, don't you usually cover this?" I told her, "Well, I did when I thought we were in a serious relationship, but Lauren just made it pretty clear that we're just casually dating. So yeah, $68 each." Lauren's face turned bright red. "Babe, don't be weird," she muttered. Kept my cool. "I'm not being weird at all. I'm just respecting your boundaries. You literally just said I was overwhelming you by acting like a husband. So, let's just keep things casual." She ended up paying her portion, and her friends chipped in for theirs too. Let's just say it was a very quiet drive back to her place. That all went down on a Thursday. By Friday morning, the games really began. What would you do in this situation if your partner publicly downgraded your relationship like that? Let me know your thoughts on how this started out. Bright and early Friday morning, she sends me a text asking what time I'm picking her up for her cousin's wedding that weekend. I texted back, "I'm not. You can drive yourself or call an Uber. I already RSVP'd no for myself." She immediately fired back, "What? Ryan, I already told my whole family you'd be there." I replied, "Well, yeah, that was back when I thought we were exclusive and serious. But we're just casually dating, remember? Driving 3 hours round trip for a family wedding feels like a total husband chore. I'm sure you understand." She proceeded to call my phone 15 times in a row. I didn't answer a single one. Honestly, I was a little busy updating my dating profiles to state that I was looking for a serious commitment. On Saturday, while she was stuck at that wedding by herself, I headed out for a hike with my buddy Mike. I posted a quick story of us standing at a really nice scenic overlook. She must have been refreshing her feed because she viewed it instantly and texted me, "Wow, enjoying yourself without me?" I just sent back, "Yep, you were right. Casual feels great." When Monday rolled around, she called me up because her car was acting up and she needed a ride to work. I told her, "Can't help you out today. Maybe see if that mechanic your ex suggested can look at it? You know, the one you still text all the time?" She snapped, "Are you for real right now?" I told her, as real as our non-serious relationship. So, she had to shell out $34 each way for a rideshare. That night, she showed up at my house unannounced, unlocking the door with the spare key I'd given her months ago. I was in the kitchen cooking up some dinner, just a single chicken breast for one. She walked in and said, "We need to talk about your behavior lately." I didn't even look up. "What behavior? I'm literally just following your lead." "This isn't what I meant," she said. "Then what did you mean?" I asked. She sighed and said, "I just didn't want all the pressure. Everyone keeps hounding us about marriage and kids, and I'm just not there yet." I just shrugged. Cool. Neither am I. At least not with someone I'm just casually dating. She got defensive. "So what, you're just punishing me now?" "Punishing you? Not at all," I told her. "I'm just matching your level of commitment. You wanted casual, so this is what casual looks like." Right then, my phone lit up on the counter with a notification from a dating app, and she caught it. "Are you serious right now?" she yelled. "What?" I said. "We're just dating. You never said we were exclusive." "We've been together for 2 years, Ryan." "No," I corrected her. "We've been dating for 2 years. Big difference, according to you." That did it. She threw her hot coffee right at me and stormed out of the house. Well, things went downhill fast after that. Lauren immediately launched a massive smear campaign against me, telling anyone who would listen that I was being financially controlling because I stopped paying her bills. Her mom even called me up to tell me what a manipulative jerk I was being. I told her, "Susan, your daughter literally told a whole table of people that we are just casually dating. I am just acting accordingly." Susan tried to defend her, saying, "After 2 years, you know she has major commitment issues because of her dad." I just told her straight up, "And? That's not my job to fix with my bank account." She slammed the phone down on me. But then irony struck. Lauren's car actually did break down for real. It was a major transmission issue, and the repair shop quoted her $2,400 to fix it. She called me up, crying her eyes out. "Ryan, please. I genuinely can't afford this right now." I asked her, "Well, have you tried asking someone you're actually in a serious relationship with?" "Stop being so petty," she sobbed. "I'm not being petty," I said. "I'm just being practical. Look, I was spending roughly $2,000 a month on our casual setup. That ride is over." She scoffed. $2,000? You're out of your mind." So, I opened up my laptop and pulled up my spreadsheet. Oh yeah, I'd been keeping track. "Let's look at the numbers," I told her. "Your phone bill is $85. Gas for me driving you everywhere is another $250. Our dates cost at least $800 a month. And then your random financial emergencies run me anywhere from $500 to $700, not to mention those 3 months of car payments I made for you at $400 a pop. You want me to keep going?" Total silence on the line. I told her, "See, that's the kind of stuff I do for a woman I'm trying to build a future with, not someone I'm just casually seeing." She hung up on me again. On Thursday, she decided to take her grievances to social media. She posted a status that read, "When you finally recognize your worth and stop settling for less." My buddy Mike saw it immediately and texted me a screenshot, saying, "Man, this girl is completely unhinged." So, I decided to leave a little comment on her post. I wrote, "Les, I have the bank statements that say otherwise, but you keep on shining, queen." She deleted the entire post within an hour, but not before about 50 people saw my comment. Shortly after, her friend Emily called me to intervene. "Ryan, what is your actual goal here?" I told her, "I don't have a goal. I'm just matching her vibe. Look, Lauren doesn't love me. She loves what I provide for her. There's a big difference." Emily tried to plead with me, saying, "She's been crying non-stop, Ryan." I just said, "And?" She threw our entire relationship in the garbage the second she downplayed it to look cool in front of everyone. I'm honestly just respecting her wishes. On Friday, Lauren actually showed up at my office building. Security called my desk to let me know my girlfriend was downstairs. I told them over the phone, "Tell her to inform you that she's just someone I'm casually dating, and see if they still let her up. They didn't. So, she ended up waiting out by my car for 2 straight hours. When I finally walked out, I was with my coworker, Sarah, and we were cracking up over some meme on her phone. The look on Lauren's face was absolutely priceless. She marched right up and demanded, "Who is she?" I just smiled and said, "Oh, this is Sarah. She's a coworker. We're actually heading out to grab some drinks. Casual ones. Nothing serious." Sarah, bless her heart, caught onto the vibe instantly and played right along. "Oh yeah, totally casual," she said, giving Lauren a little wink. "Just 2 pals hanging out." We left Lauren standing right there in the parking lot. Now, look, Sarah and I were strictly friends, but Lauren didn't need to know that. Sarah actually thought the whole interaction was hysterical and insisted on buying the first round of drinks just for the entertainment value. After that parking lot incident, Lauren went into absolute overdrive. She started showing up literally everywhere I went. She'd pop up at my gym at 6 in the morning, and trust me, this girl absolutely loathes mornings. She started showing up at the local pub where I go to watch sports, even though she despises sports. She even started crashing my incredibly boring company happy hours, which she used to make fun of and call office nerd meetups. Every single time she showed up, she had a brand new strategy. For instance, at the gym, she made sure to wear the exact workout outfit I'd bought her for Christmas the year before, and she tried to set up on the machine right next to mine. I didn't even say a word. I just picked up my towel and moved to a completely different station. Wherever I moved, she followed. I just turned around and left the building. When she showed up at the pub, she brought Emily and 2 random guys along, setting up shop just 2 tables away from me and laughing way too loud to try and get a rise out of me. I completely ignored the whole sideshow and ended up having a great conversation at the bar with a woman who was also watching the game. On her way past, Lauren ended up accidentally spilling a drink right by us. The bartender didn't appreciate the drama and banned her from the place for 2 weeks on the spot. By the time my company happy hour rolled around, she went all out. She showed up wearing this stunning dress I'd never laid eyes on before and started working the room, charming my coworkers with all these stories about our past vacations and favorite spots. My buddy Tom, absolute legend, stopped her mid-sentence and said, "Wait a minute, I thought you 2 were just casually dating?" Ryan made that crystal clear to everyone. She excused herself to go to the restroom and never came back. Then reality finally hit her wallet. Her roommate decided to pack up and move out, leaving Lauren completely unable to afford her apartment on her own. She called me up, asking if she could crash at my place temporarily. I told her, "Why on earth would I let someone I'm just casually dating move into my house?" She snapped, "Because I'm about to be homeless, Ryan." I corrected her. "No, you're about to be inconvenienced. There's a pretty big difference there. Go find a new roommate or look for a cheaper apartment. You have a whole 3-bedroom house to yourself," she whined. "Yep," I said, "and I absolutely love it." She called me cold-hearted, so I had to remind her that true cold-heartedness is stringing a guy along for 2 solid years, draining his bank account, and taking all the husband perks without giving any real commitment back. "I gave you girlfriend perks," she yelled. I told her, "You gave exactly what you felt like giving, just like I'm doing right now." That's when Lauren made her absolute biggest blunder yet. She decided to reach out to my ex-girlfriend, Jenna. Now, Jenna and I split up on really good terms about 5 years ago. We still send each other holiday cards, and she's happily married now with twins. Lauren knew all of this. She sent Jenna this massive sob story about how I was emotionally manipulating her, trying to see if I had a history of doing the same thing in the past. Jenna called me up immediately, absolutely laughing her head off. "Ryan," Jenna told me, "she actually thought I'd take her side after she basically admitted to me that you were nothing but a walking bank account to her." I was stunned. "Wait, what?" Jenna sent over the screenshots of the chat. Lauren had literally written, "He paid for absolutely everything and now he's holding it over my head just because I told people we weren't married. How did you deal with his control issues?" Jenna's reply was gold. She wrote back, "Control issues? Ryan was generous with you because he actually wanted to build a future with you. I broke up with him because I wasn't ready for marriage at the time and felt terrible taking advantage of his kindness. You seem totally fine with it, though. Good luck. I posted a screenshot of that exchange right onto my social media story with the caption, "When your ex-girlfriend respects you more than your current fling." Lauren completely lost her mind. She showed up pounding on my front door at 11 o'clock at night, begging me to take it down because her family and coworkers were seeing it. I told her she should have thought about that before dragging my past into her drama. She looked at me, totally desperate, and said, "I love you, Ryan." "No, you love my money," I told her. "There's a massive difference." "That's not true," she cried. "All right," I said. "Then prove it. Date me without a single dime of financial support. Pay your own way everywhere we go. Drive your own car. Handle your own emergencies. Do that for 6 months straight, and then we can talk about getting serious again." The look on her face told me everything I needed to know. "That's not fair," she stammered. "You make 3 times what I do, and I stuck by you through 3 different times I was unemployed. I can't afford our old lifestyle on my own." I told her, "Then we'll date within your budget. We'll do picnics in the park, home-cooked meals, and walks downtown. You know, the actual things people do when they genuinely like each other's company." Total silence. Finally, she muttered, "Well, that's just not the kind of relationship I want." I looked her dead in the eye and said, "And being a walking wallet isn't the kind of relationship I want either." With that, she turned around and walked away. The big blowout finally happened, but it didn't go down the way you'd expect. Lauren tried to get clever. She immediately found herself a rebound guy, a finance dude named Brett who drove a flashy car and had a very obvious hair plug situation going on. She started parading him around every single spot we used to frequent, posting endless stories of him buying her expensive dinners with captions like, "This is how a real gentleman actually treats a woman." My buddy Mike kept sending me the screenshots, asking if I was seeing this nonsense and if it made me mad. I told him I wasn't mad at all. Good for her. She found another target to fund her lifestyle, which was entirely predictable. What Lauren didn't see coming was that Brett was a much bigger player than she could ever hope to be. As it turned out, my coworker Sarah has a sister named Priya, and Priya matched with this exact same guy on a dating app. He was wine and dining her at the exact same time, along with a third woman named Kayla. The guy had a whole starting lineup. I didn't say a word to expose him because players always end up tripping over their own feet anyway. Sure enough, 2 weeks into their little romance, Lauren posted this big update about their romantic weekend getaway at a vineyard. The only problem was that Brett checked in from a completely different city with a totally different woman on his own page. The comments section under Lauren's post turned into an absolute bloodbath. People were telling her to check his profile, asking if the guy could teleport, and telling her to just delete the embarrassment. She wiped her entire page clean and called me at 2 in the morning, crying hysterically, asking if I knew about it. I told her, "Know about what? Lauren, we aren't together. Your dating life is none of my business." "Ryan, please," she sobbed. "I messed up so bad. I just want us back the way we were." "No," I told her. "You just want your bank account back." She tried to deny it, but I stopped her. "Lauren, you couldn't even commit to dating me for 6 months without my money involved. Your very first move was to find another guy with cash. You haven't learned a single thing from this." "I have," she cried. "I finally see exactly what I lost." I told her, "What you lost was a guy who loved you enough to invest heavily in a future together. And what you gave him in return was public humiliation and disrespect. Go get some therapy." "I will," she pleaded. "I'll go to therapy for us." "Do it for yourself," I said. "Not for me, because I am officially done." She kept crying, saying that wasn't what she meant at that dinner table, but I told her it was exactly what she meant. I actually thanked her for showing me her true colors before I wasted any more of my life or my savings, before I bought an engagement ring, and before we had kids. She saved me a lifetime of trouble. She slammed the phone down, but Lauren still wasn't done trying to pull strings. She actually convinced her mother to call my mom. Now, my mother is a retired schoolteacher who raised 4 boys completely on her own after my dad passed away when I was just 15 years old. To put it mildly, She does not tolerate an ounce of garbage from anyone. Lauren's mom, Susan, tried to feed her this wild story about how I broke Lauren's heart and completely ruined her life financially. My mom listened patiently to the whole rant, and then she delivered the ultimate shutdown. She said, "Susan, your daughter is 36 years old. If she cannot support her own life without relying on my son's paycheck, then that is your failure as a parent, not his failure as a boyfriend. Ryan lost his father at 15, put himself through college, and built a successful career from scratch. What exactly is Lauren's excuse?" Susan just started stuttering about how every situation is different. My mom cut her right off. "Your daughter publicly humiliated my son and told a room full of people that he was overwhelming her just for treating her well. Now she wants him back because the free ride is over. I raised my boys to have way more self-respect than that." Then my mom called me up to fill me in. "Ryan," she said, "that girl's mother is just as entitled as she is. The apple definitely didn't fall far from the tree there. You dodged a massive missile, son." I thanked her, and she told me my dad would be incredibly proud of how I stood my ground, warning me to never even think about taking her back. I assured her that was never going to happen. It's been about a month since that infamous dinner party, and the dust has finally settled. Lauren is still completely single. Brett dropped her like a hot potato right after that vineyard disaster. Now her social media is just an endless stream of generic quotes about knowing your self-worth and waiting around for the right man to come along. She even started a GoFundMe page to try and raise money for her car repairs. Last time I checked, it was sitting at a grand total of $47, and 20 of that came from her friend Emily. She ended up having to move back into her mom's house. Susan posted a big update about how her children will always have a home with her, complete with a dozen heart emojis. The comments were a mix of pity from older moms and hidden laughter from everyone who actually knows the real story. Then, just last week, Lauren sent me this massive 4-page email. It was a literal itemized list of every single thing she claimed she'd ever done for me over our 2-year relationship. She listed things like cooking me dinner twice, meeting my mother, and attending my company holiday party. She actually calculated a dollar amount that she thinks I owe her for emotional support, threw in a proposed payment plan for her car repairs as a goodwill gesture, and made this bizarre claim that this entire past month was just a giant test of my love for her. I sent back a 4-word reply. "New phone? Who dis?" She tried showing up at my office one more time after that, but I had security officially trespass her from the property. They have her photo at the front desk now. My buddy Mike calls this entire saga the Great Reckoning, and he even turned a screenshot of Lauren's shocked face from the night I split the bill into a meme. It's currently a massive hit in our friend group text. On a brighter note, Sarah and I actually started dating recently. Spending 3 weeks roasting my ex turned out to be a phenomenal bonding experience for us. She pays for every other date we go on, drives herself around, and when her car battery died last week, she called roadside assistance instead of ringing my phone off the hook. Mind you, I did drive over to bring her a hot coffee while she waited, because I'm not a total monster. When she came over to hang out, she noticed that I still had my spreadsheet of Lauren's expenses open on my computer screen. She looked at the total, let out a loud whistle and said, $24,000 a year? Ryan, you were basically paying alimony to a girlfriend. I told her, "Yeah, you live and you learn." She laughed and said, "Man, for that kind of money, you could have leased a high-end sports car. Or, just dated someone who actually liked you for you." She smiled and added, "Well, I happen to really like you, and I'm buying my own damn dinner tonight." My mom absolutely adores Sarah, too, and tells me all the time that the girl has real grit. Lauren still tries to text me from random burner numbers every now and then. The very last one she sent read, "You ruined my life. I really did love you." I didn't bother replying, but I thought about it for a second. The truth is, I didn't ruin her life at all. She just exposed it. Her entire lifestyle was built on a foundation of my hard-earned money, and the second I pulled that foundation away, the whole house of cards came crashing down. It's simply not my problem anymore. By the way, for everyone asking down in the comments, yes, I kept meticulous records of absolutely everything. My accountant is actually looking over the numbers right now and says a few of those financial emergencies might even be tax deductible as business losses, which would be a nice little bonus. And to the handful of people saying I went too harsh on her, you have to remember that she openly mocked the concept of commitment after 2 full years of my absolute dedication to her. All I did was hand her exactly what she asked for. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Sarah says hello, by the way, and she wanted me to make sure I told everyone that she completely covered our anniversary dinner last week. Because that is exactly what equal partners do. Lauren actually managed to track down this post and sent me a furious screenshot saying that what I'm doing is completely illegal. I showed it to a lawyer friend of mine, and his professional opinion was literally, LOL, nope, so stay mad, Lauren. Peace out, everyone. I'm off to go split a burger with my girlfriend. 50-50, like real adults do.